Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to a brand new episode of Tournament Arc, an Oregon State University anime show. My name is Zoe Spitzer, and today we are going to be talking about JRPGs. And to do this, we are going to be bringing a couple of my friends to talk about what are JRPGs.
Hey everybody, my name is Griffin, and welcome to JRPG 101. What is a JRPG? Well, JRPG stands for Japanese role-playing game, and as such means that it is any role-playing game that comes out of Japan. Thank you for coming to this class. There is no final. Have a great day. What, you want more from me? Well, that's what a JRPG is! Fine, I guess I can do this one more time. Hey, welcome to JRPG 102. More information. JRPGs are generally turn-based role-playing games where you follow some spiky-haired anime boys on quest to save the world with the power of friendship. Because why defeat your enemies when you can try to befriend them, fail, and fight them anyways? Along the way, you'll have party members join you like the annoying childhood best friend, the emo guy, the old person, the random kid who is extremely powerful, and the over-sexualized one. You know what I'm talking about. Now, you get to run around the world breaking pots and defeating enemies because you are the chosen one, or the hero of light, or really whatever generic hero name you want. Travel through boring but beautiful locations to find the 7 random jewels or keys of whatnot to defeat the big bad. You'll explore fire dungeons, ice dungeons, a sewer, the misty forest, a mine, and of course, everyone's favorite, the water dungeon. But don't forget the enemies and monsters you fight along the way. You got your big bosses that are actually kind of scary, but your generic grunts are often the cutest, cuddliest creatures you have ever seen, and now you have to kill them in mass numbers, destroying everything they hold dear. Oh, Mommy, when is Daddy coming home? Soon, darling, soon. Blah. Now you found all the whatnots throughout the dungeon or on your way to the big bad himself, but you aren't quite ready for that because you need to experience the key feature of JRPGs, grinding. Oh, you thought you could just go from one dungeon to the next? That's cute. This isn't some rocky training montage either. You get to fight through every single second. So start that clock and let's get ready to rumble because this is gonna take some time.
Several months later.
Now it's time to fight the big bad final boss, and you are heavily over-equipped and over-prepared from all of the grinding that you've been doing throughout the game. So you one-hit KO'd that idiot and you've beaten the game. But you haven't beaten the game because it turns out the final boss was not the final boss, and now you have to fight the real final boss, and if you die fighting that final boss, you have to do both final bosses all over again. So you beat both of them, and you've finally done it. The big bad is dead and trapped in an alternate dimension or something. All of your friends are safe, and things can go back to normal. The near apocalypse didn't stop you, or really anyone else for that matter. So go loot some towns and kill some more bad guys because you have won. Look, jokes aside, we love JRPGs because they bring the fans together. We play them for the character interaction because we generally love the worlds. So next time you're thinking of sitting down and dumping 80 hours into a game, why not try a JRPG? Or if you have less time, you can always play Pokemon.
Pikachu?
As you've seen, today's episode is about video games and anime. It's about time we talked about gaming since it's so closely connected to the anime subculture. In order to better look at this topic, we are going to be taking a look at a franchise that both has games and anime. The Persona franchise is a gaming staple, so we will be talking and focusing on those episodes. Persona is a video game franchise developed and primarily published at Atlus. The first entry in the series, Relations, Persona was released in 1996 for the PlayStation. There have since been 5 further main games, with the most recent, Persona 5, being released in 2016. The gameplay of the Persona series revolves around combat against various enemy types, demons, shadows, and personas. Main combat takes place during dungeon crawling segments within various locations. Battles are governed by a turn-based system where the player, party, and enemies each attack the opposing side. Each party member is manually controlled by the player. The general gameplay has remained consistent across all Persona games. So with me, I have some friends, Rob and Michael. Ready to jump in?
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome. So what are some of the elements that define JRPG?
Turn-based combat is a big thing, but it's not necessarily a defining factor. It's just very common.
Okay, sweet.
In a lot of cases, aesthetic decisions will also be important. Like if you look at something like Persona, or if you look at something like the one with the tanks. I'm blanking on the name.
That's okay.
Valkyria Chronicles. Those have very dedicated aesthetics to them that would be much less common in sort of a Western audience.
Yeah, and those aesthetics are probably really important because it helps bring you into the story, right? Yeah.
Definitely.
Awesome. And what's the difference between that and just regular role-play games?
I think it would be fair to say the biggest case is, in a lot of cases, storytelling elements.
Yeah.
Like Japanese role-playing games share a lot of story elements with each other, and Western RPGs share a lot of story elements with each other.
Okay. Sweet. So when you're playing these games, are you taking on a different character, or is your own person in the game?
I think it depends on the game and also the player.
Yeah.
The best thing for me is that you can kind of choose. Some people really like to make their character themselves and they just be themselves through the game, while other times you can just try to have this be the character that you want the character to be, and just kind of be watching it as an outsider, more like watching a show.
That's so cool, because you can either just be the hero and really feel like you're winning the day, or you can be in your own little world and be someone else totally different. That's kind of a cool thing about it.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons I love the Fallout series. It's one of the reasons I love the Mass Effect series, and that sort of choice-driven structure is something that is very sort of definitive of RPGs, especially like modern RPGs.
Yeah. You know, there's a lot of different ones in the Persona series.
Yeah.
Can you skip around? Do you have a favorite one?
So in terms of can you skip around? Yes, it isn't like a continuous story, but there are going to be, Easter eggs here and there from previous entries. Like there's an Easter egg in the 5th game where there's a bunch of posters for a character from the 4th game. Stuff like that pops up all the time. And so it isn't necessary to play the games, but it is fun to be able to spot those references here and there.
Do you guys have a favorite?
That's a really tough choice. I played through 3, 4, and 5. They're all so good. They all have amazing stories. My favorite is probably Persona 3.
Okay.
What about you?
I have only played all the way through 5, and I've played most of the way through 4. So far, I think 5 is probably the better game, but at least for no other reason than, as we saw in that clip earlier, it has just an absolute adherence to an aesthetic that is entirely its own. But 4 is still very good, and I do appreciate that it's in a smaller setting than 5 is. And so I'm very interested to see how the game ends, and the ending might push it over for me.
I quite enjoyed the ending. 3 is a bit darker, but I really like that about it. I would recommend it for sure.
My favorite thing about 3 is still how you summon personas in the game.
That's awesome.
Do you want to explain that, Michael?
So in Persona 3, the way that they summon their personas, which is like these things that they use to fight, a manifestation of themselves and their power, they have these things that they call them evokers, but they're very similarly shaped to a gun, and they point them at their heads and simulate firing to evoke or summon their personas. So that kind of shows how some of the themes in the story of Persona 3 is a little bit darker than the other ones.
Yeah, it probably takes some getting used to. Yeah. what do you hope to see in future franchises and future games that are added onto this?
In terms of just Persona?
Yeah.
I would like to see, personally, character customization. Because that isn't something you get very much of in the modern games. I don't know about 1 or 2. I know that you had a choice of male or female protagonists in 1, 2, and I think 3?
There is the Persona 3 Portable where it gives you that option.
Okay.
Sweet, what about you?
I think for a hopeful Persona 6, the biggest thing that I want to see is just that it is its own game.
Yeah.
All 3 that I've played have had their own like themes and aesthetics. So as long as it just is unique, instead of trying to...
It can stand on its own.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Instead of trying to be like Persona 5 or 3 or 4, it just needs to be its own game. And I think they've all done a really good job with that, so I have high hopes.
Yeah.
After Persona 5, I can only imagine what just the UI for a Persona 6 would have to be. Is it going to be more subdued? Is it going to somehow go even further? If it goes even further, how do you do that?
Yeah, I mean, there's probably just exponential options, especially with how crazy the realism is getting with these kinds of games and movies and stuff like that. Would you agree?
Oh yeah. And of course, every game they always have a bunch of content that they have to cut for XYZ reason.
Yeah.
And so it's always fun to see how that ends up recycling itself into the next game.
Yeah. Well, that sure was a lot of fun, but let's take a quick break. Stick around. When we return, we will be premiering a brand new segment involving images, judges, and anime.
Audio, man, it's in the air. It's the fluctuations that vibrate our ear holes and make the cochlea sensitive, you know. You can't ignore it, and you try to start measuring it, and it just pulls you in. Well, I used to try to play music on my own, make the sounds from my own hands and instruments. Then I started recording. Upon hearing myself in my recordings, I decided I should just record. When you're a young adult who is serious about pursuing media as a career or even a side hustle, a lot of people won't take you seriously. OMN is cool because not only will they take you seriously, they'll push you and they'll give you all the tools to really try to do something special with it and let you be creative about it. And so that's what's been special about OMN to me. I'm Sam Lay, and I'm a student engineer at Orange Media Network.
You know, knowing your strengths and what you love to do should be the path to figuring out what you will do.
Simply put, this is a show made by college students for college students.
Okay. I got a stick figure. Cowboy. Cowboy's right. Cowboy's correct.
Maybe go to try to shoot you instead. It'll be a comeback kid. Oh, that's 2. Yeet!
Thanks for sticking around. Sorry. Okay. Today we've brought a panel of experts, some from past episodes, and to give the final verdict. What is this verdict, you might be asking? I'm going to be showing the panel a picture of characters from the Persona franchise. The panel will then deliver a verdict purely based on their opinions. We will then place them on this board ranging from 1 to 5. And if you're ready, let's go. Our first one we've got is this guy with a cape and a knife.
See, I'm torn here because I like the cape, but I feel like the pose is unnecessary.
Yeah, he's doing the most.
Let's go with a solid 2.7.
2.7. All right. I'd say that's fair. He is He's got a good cape, though. All right, next up, we've got red tights.
I feel like we should.
Solid 1.0. I feel like the tights are excessive,
Tights are
and
too
her
much.
hair, to me, doesn't feel authentic.
Yeah.
I think she could tone down the platinum blondness.
Yeah, a little too much hairspray,
Yeah.
but, you know.
And then
It's
maybe
okay.
spread the colorful decisions out.
Yeah.
You know, pay some more time to the top half and match it to the energy of the red leggings.
Yeah, I totally get that. All right, are you ready?
Yes.
Oh gosh, we got a good one. All right. Black cat with yellow outfit.
That one's pretty easy. I'm a big cat fan.
Yeah,
We're going a solid 5 out of 5.
I mean, that's a no-brainer. Everyone loves an awesome looking cat that is also stylish.
Yeah.
Right? You know, that's the key.
really the key, I think, is the stylized look of the cat. Like, I love
totally
the
agree.
blue eyes. He obviously knows how to work fashion.
Yeah, we got
'cause he's
some
contrasted
complementary
so
colors.
perfectly with the yellow bandana.
I totally agree. All right. Next, we got fellow redhead. Makes me think I should consider bangs.
You know, I think you could pull off bangs.
Thanks.
I think it would be a strong look. As for that character, 4 out of 5.
Oh, that's pretty good.
I think that the hair is a really strong look, and I think that's a scarf she's wearing. I can't really tell from here, but the scarf is really tying the look together.
It's like a little hood fur, but pulled back. Like it's not raining out at that moment.
Okay, yeah.
But she's ready to go
Yep.
for all kinds of weather.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Next we got, plaid skirt. That's a good look. I mean, it's classic, but also it's kind of cool.
You know, it's not really doing it for me. It's
No?
okay. I think it's a little bit higher than like the middle.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with a 3.6.
All right, that's not bad.
I feel like there could be more. I feel like you could match the colors of the skirt a little bit more.
Yeah.
I feel like going with just black and white on top is too easy.
She could maybe have like a cool bow. Or
Yeah,
like a,
I think a red bow would really tie that together.
that would. We'll let her know.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, we got some more plaid, but this time took it even further.
See, I like this guy's blonde hair better.
Yeah.
And he's definitely matched the energy of what look like plaid pants with the yellow shirt.
Yeah.
Not as good as the bangs or the other plaid. So I'm gonna have to go with a solid 3.
That's pretty fair. That's pretty fair. I'm gonna go right in here. And you know, I like his look because it's like there's so many things going on. He's
Yeah.
like, I want it all.
Exactly.
He can't decide, but he's owning it. All right. We got more plaid, if you can believe it.
Persona kind of seems like a plaid heavy
Yeah.
franchise. Is that just? I haven't played the game personally.
Yeah.
That seems like a pinnacle of their storytelling technique. Is that just everybody's in plaid?
Yeah. I've got a few plaid outfits.
I
Like
think
a
that's
plaid
fair.
shirt.
I think, but like, is that an everyday thing?
Oh no.
Yeah, I think plaid is a timely. It's cold outside. Let me get some plaid on.
And you know, the thing about plaid is it usually has red, and red, it's a tricky look for me.
Exactly. It can clash with the hair color. You know, I get that.
I know, but when you get the perfect plaid or the perfect red, it's a look.
So for me, seeing as this guy's basically the first guy, but with less capes and less knives, I'm gonna go with a -1.
Ooh, yeah. Not a fan.
No, I think he could have done so much more, and I think he really took the easy way out.
He did, although I don't know if you can tell, but there are glasses and a turtleneck. So
The turtleneck only brings it down further. You're lucky I don't have a sign that says
all right.
-2.
Well, I'll just before I push him even further down. But we could have had some more panel experts here, but let's take a quick break so we can get back to the normal set. Welcome back to a different type of drop or watch called Drop or Play. Again, I turn it over to the mysterious watch guy.
It's my favorite thing.
Fitting with the theme of Persona, I have a game written by Tadashi Satomi, who is the writer of the first 3 Persona games. The plot is, well, basically it's Matrix but anime. The vocal software known as Mew has enabled people to escape from the despair of reality by listening to her song. Those who are saved by her listening to her are granted their every wish through Mobius. In the virtual world of Mobius, everyone is an ideal high school student at Kishima High School in the idyllic Miyabi City, repeatedly reliving high school days. Blissfully unaware that they are not in reality, a small group of men and women figure out that Mobius is not the real world and form the Go Home Club in order to find a way back to reality. Each one of them has violated certain taboos, and each one has dark secrets. Each member of the Going Home Club fights using the catharsis effect, a black mass that erupts out of them and forms into weapons and accessories that represent each member's true self. It also seems to cause part of their personality that are normally repressed to come to the surface. The Caligula Effect is a Japanese role-playing video game. Is this a drop or a watch?
You know, I don't know. I'm interested to know what this song is that just changes people. What do you guys think?
I mean, it's got to be a bop. If it's if it's going to be, you know, sending me to have to relive high school again, it has to be an absolute banger for me to even consider listening to it.
Must be a really, really powerful song.
Yeah, maybe something from like early 2000s, like mid 2000s, bring you back there.
I'm just picturing just, you know, a lot of solos, a lot of powerful vocals.
Yeah, and what about
a strong message about friendship, because it is a JRPG.
Yeah. Of course. And
exactly.
What about what was the effect called where they turn into this black mass?
The Caligula Effect.
Yes.
So that feels like, in a way, very Persona. You have this, so, you know, it doesn't surprise me that this guy also wrote for most of the Persona games. But, you know, the idea of, hey, here's how you're gonna fight. It's a manifestation of you, and like you're you know, a true reflection of your inner self. That is, you know, super Persona.
But the repressed part comes out. I mean, that's not completely you. It's like the hidden you, right?
That's Persona 4.
Oh, gotcha. I don't know. I mean, I can see the similarities then. So given that the same writer with Persona franchise wrote this, would you just trust this writer? Would you say, you know, I like this person, you know, anything they create, I could get behind?
I would probably, yeah. I'd definitely at least try it. Like, it seems like a really interesting concept, very reminiscent of Persona, which I enjoy. So I'm definitely gonna give it a try.
Yeah, what about you?
Oh, yeah, it sounds like a delightful time overall, you know. Having to relive high school. No, but the story elements do sound very intriguing. I would be interested to see like how this sort of resistance to you trying to escape the world sort of arises. You know, is it sort of like sort of a typical anime where you have just sort of this council who sits in sort of opposition to you and you have to slowly fight through them, or is it like Scott Pilgrim and you have to defeat the evil exes to escape?
Well, you've always got to have obstacles, because otherwise it's just boring. But I mean, fighting some of those taboos and those really suppressed parts of you, I mean, it's not like it's fighting like the outer world of evil. It's almost like part of it's your character and like the inner parts of you. I mean, that makes it feel kind of crazy.
It does. It's definitely a sort of unique sort of antagonist that I can't think of like a way that I've seen this sort of done in any other RPG, really. Again, with the exception of some elements of Persona.
Yeah, and it brings in that whole part of the anime too, and lots of the storytelling that goes with it, and the characters that you guys were talking about, and the visualization, the artwork that goes with that.
I mean, the main antagonist is literally a Vocaloid. I can't think of something of anything more Japanese than that.
Yeah.
Unless maybe you just had to fight Chiton as the final boss or something.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds like, you know, it's something that you might be interested in.
I'm very curious to see how the characters in the story would unfold. Like, I might have to give this game a try at some point.
Yeah, I mean, I think the characters are the most important part, because that's like the part that's most connected to you, right?
Yeah.
And, you know, with Persona, it sounds like you can either put yourself into the game or you can be anyone you want to be. So to me, the characters, you kind of got to identify with them a little bit. You got to connect to their story too and their struggles. And, you know, everyone's been through high school too. Super secure time of your life. So that'd be kind of an obstacle.
Yeah. I'd be interested to see how they go about introducing the main characters. Because with Persona, it's, you know, sort of slowly over the course of a game, each character gets their own dungeon and you go through their story and on and on and on. With, or if it would be something like Valkyria Chronicles, where you really get like all the characters at the beginning pretty much.
Yeah, and you know, this is pretty mysterious. We don't know everything about it, but do you guys think it would be a drop or a play?
Play, definitely.
I think it's an absolute play.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, what specifically, like your top reason you think it would be a play?
Unique antagonist.
Okay.
I think the premise of the story and the world is really cool, so I'd like to see how, like, all the dark secrets and the, you know, conspiracies behind everything.
Yeah, that's so true, because it's not like you know everything that's going on right away. Things start to unfold and secrets are revealed, stuff like that. It's pretty cool. All right, well, I think we've got a verdict. We're going to play.
Play.
Unfortunately, it looks like we are out of time, and I would like to thank our two guests for showing up today. Thank you. Well, on to the final round of Tournament Arc, the grand finals, if you will. What will be the ultimate conclusion to this 12-episode arc? Stick around to find out in the next round. After all, it is a tournament arc.